In the heart of East Africa, a towering figure once ruled with absolute authority. A former soldier, a boxer, a self-declared conqueror. To some, he was a defender of African pride. To others, he was one of the most feared dictators of the 20th century. His name was Idi Amin Dada. For 8 turbulent years, Uganda was under his control. Thousands disappeared. The economy collapsed, and the world watched in disbelief. But how did a man with little formal education rise to lead a nation? What forces shaped him? And how did his rule ultimately end? This is the full story. Idi Amin was born around 1925 in northwestern Uganda, then under British colonial rule. Uganda was part of the British Empire, governed from afar, structured for colonial interests. Opportunities for education were limited, especially for rural communities. Amin received little formal schooling, but he had something else: physical strength, presence, and ambition. In 1946, he joined the King's African Rifles, a British colonial regiment. The army would shape his identity. It gave him structure, rank, and purpose. Amin served in Kenya during the Momo Uprising. He rose steadily through the ranks, known for discipline, toughness, and loyalty. By the time Uganda approached independence, Amin had become one of the most prominent African officers in the military. In 1962, Uganda gained independence from Britain. Milton Obote became prime minister. The young nation faced deep divisions, ethnic tensions, regional rivalries, and political uncertainty. Obote relied heavily on the military, and one man within it was becoming increasingly powerful: Idi Amin. Amin was promoted rapidly. By the late 1960s, he was head of the armed forces. But trust between Obote and Amin began to erode. Allegations of corruption and illegal gold dealings in Congo surfaced. Political tensions escalated. Uganda stood at a crossroads. On January 25, 1971, while President Obote was abroad attending a conference, Idi Amin made his move. The army seized key installations. Radio Uganda announced a change in leadership. There was no prolonged battle. Power changed hands in hours. Amin declared himself president. Many Ugandans initially celebrated. Obote's government had grown unpopular. Amin promised stability, anti-corruption reforms, and national unity. But beneath the celebrations, a different reality was forming. Soon after taking power, Amin began purging the military. Soldiers suspected of loyalty to Obote were arrested or disappeared. Political opponents were targeted. Journalists were silenced. Critics vanished without trial. Intelligence agencies grew powerful. Fear spread quietly across the country. Amin centralized authority, eliminating checks on his power. Publicly, he projected confidence and humor. Privately, his regime ruled through intimidation. In 1972, Amin made a shocking announcement. He ordered the expulsion of approximately 60,000 Asians from Uganda, most of whom were Ugandan citizens of Indian descent. They were given 90 days to leave. Amin claimed it was an economic war to return wealth to native Ugandans. Shops, factories, and businesses were confiscated. But the consequences were severe. Many businesses collapsed. Production fell. Shortages became common. Uganda's economy began a steep decline. Amin shifted alliances frequently. He initially maintained ties with Britain and Israel. Later, he aligned with Libya and the Soviet Union. His speeches were theatrical. He awarded himself grand titles. International media portrayed him as unpredictable, even eccentric. But behind the headlines was a country increasingly isolated. In 1978, Amin ordered Ugandan forces into Tanzania. It was a critical miscalculation. Tanzanian forces counterattacked, joined by Ugandan exiles. The war moved swiftly. By April 1979, Kampala fell. Amin fled first to Libya, then later to Saudi Arabia. His regime was over. Idi Amin lived in exile in Saudi Arabia for more than 2 decades. He never stood trial. In 2003, he died at age 78. He left behind a deeply divided legacy. For many Ugandans, the Amin era remains a painful memory. Historians estimate that tens of thousands were killed during his rule. Others argue he symbolized resistance to colonial influence. Today, his story serves as a powerful reminder of how quickly power can reshape a nation. History does not forget, and neither do the people who lived through it. Thank you for watching this story. If you enjoy deep historical storytelling and documentaries like this, subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the next powerful story from history when it premieres on this channel. Thank you for watching this story. If you enjoy deep historical storytelling and documentaries like this, subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the next powerful story from history when it premieres on this channel.